Hi everyone, and welcome to day 28 of the July Daily Colouring Challenge. Today we are colouring a starfish, and I've got a reference photo here of a piece of clip art that I really like the look of. I love those colours together, so that's the kind of thing that we're going to go for. And today I'm going to be using Crayola pencils, so very basic, cheap beginners pencils, and easy to get hold of for any of you who are trying to colour along with me. So I believe that this is the 100 set, and we're going to have to find our colours by swatching them, I think, because I don't think I have a chart for the Crayolas. I haven't swatched them out. So let me get some paper and do a little swatch first of all to try and get the colours that we're after. So I know that I'm going to need a dark blue, and this one that's right on top of the case is called Indigo. So let me just give it a quick sharpen, and I'll zoom you in a bit, and we'll try and swatch and see what this looks like. So that's pretty much the kind of colour that we need. It's a bit more of an ultramarine than an indigo, actually, I would say, but we'll keep it out. Then we need a sort of a blue-green to make the transition to the yellow. So I'm just sort of picking out colours that I think might work. This is a very small pencil case for a lot of pencils, so just bear with me while I try and find the colours. So I'm sure with there being 100 colours here or more, what's the largest set of Crayolas? I'm not sure. I know that I got the largest set. So this just seems like a lot more than 100 pencils to me. I've probably got duplicates though, to be fair. What's this one? Green blue, that sounds promising. Let's try that. Ah yes, that's pretty perfect. And what I need now is a light sort of aqua blue. So like that, but a lot lighter. Let's see if we can find it. And all these pencils out now. So just continually trying to find the colour that we're looking for. There has to be. This one looks promising. What have we got? This is aqua green, so yep, it's pretty much spot on. And then from there, I need something a bit like a chartreuse colour that's yellow but with a lot of green in it. So let's see if we've got anything like that. What's this one? This is Arctic Lime. No, that's like a neon green. I'm looking for a really yellowish green. I'm not familiar with these pencils, so I'm not sure if it actually exists within this set. This one's called Lemon Glacier. What's that one look like? Oh, again, we've got a neon. It's not really what I'm after, but it might work. We've got anything here? Let's try that one, Palm Leaf. I think that's going to be the only choice we've got, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not as bright really as I need, but can I make it work? Let's see if we can get a really bright yellow. What yellow is this? No, that's more like a cream. This one's simply yellow, so this should work. I think that this green is just a little bit too dull, to be honest. But it might be that we don't really have the colours that we need to work with. Should I dip into the Prismacolors and just grab a chartreuse? Yeah, let's do that. So we've got the yellow chartreuse here, which going from that green to this should be fairly easy. Obviously we've only got a small picture to do, so I'm not, too worried about it. But let's try the green chartreuse. Yeah, I think that's just going in the wrong direction really. We'll stick with the chartreuse. So this is Prismacolor number 1004. Let's give that a quick sharpen. And then what do we need? We need yellows now. So going from this yellow chartreuse, we should find it quite easy to move right into the yellow. We're also going to need an orange, but I'm not sure whether we could use like an orange gel pen. I know gel pens just don't work for me, but something else that will layer on top, maybe a Posca pen. That might be a good idea because that layers on top of pencils really well. So if I just grab an orange Posca, I've got a couple of options. So I've got this thin one here. Let's just see. Yeah, so that might be quite nice to do our little orange details on the starfish. So yeah, I think I'm happy with those choices. I'm just going to try and leave these here for now and put them away when I've finished so that you don't have to listen to more clattering. Okay, so I've got all my colours together. Let's make sure we're nice and zoomed in tight. And let's start to colour. So I'm going to go with the Crayola Indigo first of all. And following the little reference photo that we've got, I'm going to do some of the edges and the sides with this. Now I know that Crayola are obviously not an artist grade pencil, or I don't even know if they're a student grade pencil. I don't think they are, rather they're just, you know, like a kid's pencil. But if used, you know, if used right and not used heavily, you can get some nice effects with them. Obviously the paper matters a lot, and we've got that against us on this project, which is purely my fault. So I'm just going to make these little areas between each spoke of the starfish a little bit thicker with the blue. So thin up the edges. You don't have to do, you know, the entirety of the edges. You don't have to do the complete outline. You can make it a little bit broken, but just try and thicken the bit at the bottom, like the V. Make sure you're leaving a nice little halo of light colour for the next one to blend into, because especially with the Crayolas, you're going to need that. So if there's any areas where the starfish sort of dips in like this, you could make that thicker as well, because it will just give that impression that it is indented. Hi guys, this is voiceover Claire speaking. So the sound cut out for some reason again, and so I'm just going to explain quickly what I'm doing here. I am just colouring in the edges with the indigo blue, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the darker green and colour over that indigo blue, but just keeping mindful that we don't have a lot of space to work with. So just trying to get it looking a little bit like it's blended, even though we've got a really small area and the colours aren't exactly the best blendy colours, or pencils rather. So that's all I'm doing, and sorry about the sound again. I will try and figure out why that keeps happening. So I've just added in the green blue to where I put all of the indigo blue, and then we're going to move on to this aqua green and just carry on doing the same as what we have been doing, but I'm just being really aware of how much space or how little space that we've got to play with. So I'm really just tickling this on and not thickening it as much at all really. I'm putting it over where we put the last green and not really extending it much at all. So just be mindful of how much room you've got to play with. So moving on to the yellow chartreuse, which was the Prismacolor pencil that we're using. I'm going to use that to go over that light aqua, and again I'm not really thickening that line. I'm not extending it so that we've got a patch of complete pure yellow chartreuse like I would usually, because we just don't have the room for it. So I'm basically just layering this over that light aqua so that we still have plenty of room to put our final yellow and maybe even leave a little bit of white for shine. So I just want to put a slight bit more of that chartreuse around these little inner corners so that we have something to blend into down here. And then finally I've got the yellow Crayola. And again, just trying to thicken those lines a little bit, but definitely leave a little bit of white here and there. It might be that you can't leave a complete stripe of white right up the leg of the starfish, but if you can leave just little bits of white here and there, hopefully you'll manage to achieve a bit of highlight on it. Let's get rid of some of that dust. There we are. So you might be able to see that I've managed to leave a little bit of white. You might not. I don't know what the camera is allowing itself to pick up, but I'm just going to go back in with the indigo around the edges and deepen that up slightly. And we need to start thinking about what would be a good colour for the background. I'm wondering if orange might be good, purely because we're going to have the orange dots and details on here. So it'll all tie in together and be quite harmonious with a bit of a limited palette, which is always pretty. So if there's any colours that you want to add back in and make sure that they're showing up properly, then you can do that now. I'm just doing bits here and there. But I think overall I'm pretty happy with that. So, orange Posca time. So this is the 1M, 0.7 millimetre. So it's a really tiny one. And we can use that to do our details over the top of the coloured pencil, because it is a fairly opaque medium to use. I'm going to fill in some of the dots and maybe just do some of them outlined like that. And then we can also add our own little dots and details to it as well. So we can put some more of these orange dots on the legs. I don't know if you call them legs. What would you call them? I'm sure they've got a scientific name. And of course, I'm going a little bit mental with the dots, even though it's not a white gel pen. They should just call me the Queen of Polka Dots. Princess Polka Dot. That can be my new channel name. What do you think about this? Do you think we should make those orange as well? Now, it wouldn't be a colour with Claire video if we didn't have the white gel pen somewhere. And I think this might help to just elevate it a little bit, having these flashes of white. Putting a few of them in the centre as well. But I'm pretty sure that that's it for the starfish. I'm just going to take a step back and see what I think. Oh, I'm really pleased with that actually. That's turned out pretty much how I wanted it to turn out. The colours aren't exactly the same and the blends isn't exactly the same, but I'm pleased with it. It looks kind of more like a flower than a starfish, doesn't it? Okay, so background then. This orange is quite a dull sort of orange, I've noticed. So I'm not sure whether or not that would be the best idea to do on the background. If we just grab the colour wheel, I can check what... We've got blue and blue-green here, which are the main two colours that we've used. And, you know, going into the yellow-green as well. So if we just go across to the other side of the colour wheel, we'll see that red and red-orange are really good ideas. So I said orange, but maybe if we do more of a reddish orange, can we find something like that in the Crayolas? Let's have a look. I don't know whether you can see this, because again, my iPad only shows me a certain width of this video, and then it ends up being massive. So I don't know whether you can see me choosing this, but I am looking for a red orange. What's this one? Literally called red orange. Right, perfect. Let's swatch it out just to be sure. Where did I put my little sheet? There we go. Oh, that's more of a red. That is definitely more of a red than a red orange. I do want something a little bit more orangey than that. I wonder if we could layer it with something. Would that work? This is colour mango, and that's looking a bit more like it. Maybe if we start with the red around the edge and sort of fade into the mango like we have been doing, that might be a good idea. So again, this is red orange, and I'm going to do that sort of ombre fade from the edges. Once we've got something like that, where you've got a box that's just fading into the centre, then we can come in with the next colour, the mango. So I'm going to go over the red so we have the best blend we can possibly get. And again, I am doing this with quite hard pressure. I do realise that these kind of pencils react much better with light layers, but I'm not really doing anything that I want to look perfectly smooth. So it doesn't really bother me that it's not an amazing blend. I think it's going to have the look that we're going for. On such a small area, I think it's fine. There we are. Yeah, I tell you what, that's not half bad, is it? What do you reckon? Let's zoom out a bit. Yeah, I really like that one. If you look at all the others on the page, it feels like that one really pops out. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Tomorrow we've got another life ring or lifesaver ring, which is going to be interesting to decide what to do with that, because I pretty much nailed it, I think, on day 17. So maybe I'm going to have to look up some more reference photos and inspiration for different colours of life buoys, or whatever you call them. But yeah, join me tomorrow to see what I come up with, and I hope you've enjoyed watching today. Bye bye.